That's why he was trying to get a hold of us. Probably that's what he was yelling at us about.
We should get a quick little video of that.
Yeah. That's good, you can do that, and you can run over there if you want. I can get it started.
Yeah.
Make sure we're live this time. Shouldn't go with an update, actually. Yes, there we are. Well, I don't see myself yet. I think we're live. G'day guys, good morning Philip. Gracias. Muchas gracias. G'day Arthur. Hey George. I don't know why our stream health is not good, but we've got good internet right now, so it should be decent. We can't see ourselves, but that might be how it actually is. Hey Laurie, hey Bob, how's it going? Good to see you guys. Well, or at least for you guys to see us. So Hillary will be here with us in a moment. She's actually just went to get a bit of video across the street. A guy just pulled up in a truck and he is selling petrol out of the back of his truck. So everyone's rushing up to him. We'll go into it a little bit later, but right now there's no petrol left here in the country that we're in. It's pretty much out of petrol all over. So some entrepreneurs have been driving down to Costa Rica, filling up with petrol, driving back across the border, and are selling it for probably a good 3-4 times the amount. There's no petrol around and no diesel, which is a problem for us anyway. It is just after 3 p.m. here. We are in San Juan del Sur, Nicaragua, southern part of Nicaragua, probably about 30 so miles from the border of Costa Rica. And this was originally going to be like a patron-only live stream today. That's why we didn't notify everyone else on YouTube about it. But we're having technical difficulties with the Patreon feed, and we figured if we just went live on YouTube, our awesome patrons will find us there. But we did want to say a huge thanks to everyone that supports us. That includes patrons, it includes PayPal, it includes anyone that's ever given us thumbs up or comments. It's all helpful all the way along the board. Today's going to be a chance for people to ask us questions about anything, about our previous episodes that you've seen, stuff that's coming up, where we've been, and just basically anything. Of course, Hillary needs to get her butt over here. I hope you guys can all hear me. Alright, someone needs to ban that Sienna Noel. Tell you what, my daughter's always a bit of a brat, eh? Good to see all you guys. Yeah, I'm glad you're finally here live, Bob. It's good to chat with you, mate. Thanks, Richard. That's a teenager for you, I tell you. She's just doing it to be funny, but I don't know why. She should have learned her lesson from last time. Hello, Ray. On the beaches. G'day. Here is Hillary. She is
hey guys,
showing
just
up.
got back.
Finally, I kind of told them what you're up to over there.
Yes, it's big, like covered truck, and they have all these jerry cans, waving everyone down. Everyone's pulling up and filling up fuel. I'm sure for a premium price.
Yeah, he was trying to get our attention earlier. When we're done, we might ask him if he's got diesel.
We could use some diesel, and there's none in town. Yeah,
we're not in dire straits, but we had planned on getting some diesel here. And it doesn't sound like that's going to happen now at all. Let me pop this chitty chat out.
Chitty chat.
So I can read it a bit better.
There we go.
And we'll get back to where we're at. Oh, so Laurie and Bob are here.
Oh, hi. Hey guys.
And Sienna was being a ding dong and she got blocked already.
Oh, good. Good.
Your mum's there.
Hi, Mom.
Richard's up here. We've got Philip. All the regular blokes and girls, I should say, too.
So sorry for the technical difficulties. I'm sure you already talked about that.
I explained that we can't work out the patron thing, but now everyone. So we didn't get it. I just said basically we didn't get to notify everyone Hey, Ant and Sid sailing. Nice, guys. We got it. We got the water. We got the leak sorted out on the water maker. If you guys have been watching, we had a continuous leak through the pressure relief valve. We got it sorted in a not
temporary way.
Yeah. We plugged it up. So we just put a plug in it, and it's working great right now. We actually just made water today for an hour and a half or so. We're not. The water here is pretty bad, just mainly because of it's clean water. It's just very
silty. I think it's from all the rain washing stuff out into the water. It's just full of like really fine silt, which the pre-filter should get that out. So
it's like thunderstorms every day. Bloody hell! Fast motorbikes there.
Hey, ODoc Sailing asked about school outreach. That's a perfect question.
It is. You can talk about that.
Yeah, we actually, I don't know if you saw on our Facebook, we have some friends, our good friends. You would have remembered them from our back in Baja, the sailboat Larky, Ken, Edith, Zoe, and Naomi, the two girls. And they are over in the South Pacific now, and they started a GoFundMe because they really want to help out the really rural, really isolated schools over there. So go check out our Facebook page, and maybe at the end here we'll get a link.
Yeah, I'll try and put a link on it here as well. We donated this morning. If you guys want to do some donations for them, it's a pretty small goal they've got. I think they'll easily hit it, and it'll be a massive help. Trying to the young girls there, Zoe and Naomi, I really want to try and take a bunch of school supplies to Kiribati, which is a pretty small little independent nation. I don't even know how to explain where it is. It's kind of northern French Polynesia, right? Like
I don't remember.
It's out of French Polynesia, but it's
pretty isolated, pretty remote, and they don't have a whole lot of support or even resources. So I think they were going to get stuff in like Tahiti or somewhere in a bigger town in French Polynesia and bring it to the island. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, we donated to that this morning, and you guys should too. We'll share the link.
Speaking of leaving Facebook, man, there's too many social media things that we don't know how to pick which one to follow and how to get in touch with everyone. So right now we've got too much it is, but Twitter is what we kind of use when we're away from shore. That way it's always kind of live, so we can keep updates. And then our Instagram is just kind of stuff as we're going. We try and keep that with like the shots that we've taken while we're going and interesting stuff going on. And then, I don't know, Facebook to keep in touch as well.
We haven't been on Facebook.
You've got like pineapple juice foam all over your nose.
No, it's very foamy. It's good pineapple juice, though.
I probably should have gotten the
Pija. Here it's called pija. In Mexico, they're called papote.
No straws, so get rid of the plastic straws. Did I tell you that? I think I did. That IKEA's getting rid of all stuff.
No.
They're getting rid of all single-use plastics, including garbage bags, freezer bags, everything, and then they're also getting rid of all their stuff in their restaurants too. And they're trying to make like all their long story.
Cool. All right.
Sienna would say, I don't know why Sienna was blocked. But, maybe she said something inappropriate. What were we going to talk about? So let's get back to, we have a list so we can kind of stay on track.
So I don't know, you already talked about we're in San Juan del Sur, which is southern Nicaragua, and if you guys haven't heard the news, there's some stuff going on in Nicaragua, a lot of political unrest. So no protests or anything here, but it's been a pretty big deal. Most of the country's totally shut down right now.
So no petrol available. It's basically the roads are blocked, the highways are blocked, so no goods transiting the country. So goods are hard to come by. Seems to be plenty of
like fruits and veggies. It's a pretty like rural farming place. So each town kind of has their own like fruits and veggies and meats and all that. So.
And most of the tourists have left, and it's really affecting the tourism and the money, especially in a town like this. A lot of stuff's shutting up. But we'll go into more of that a little bit later.
Yep, we'll talk a bit more about that.
Yeah, and William, I wouldn't say it's dangerous in certain parts probably. I mean, I wouldn't go participate in a protest in Managua or any of the other towns.
I think if you stay out of the protests, I mean, hasn't been any violence towards regular people. It's all been between the protesters and the police, or pseudo police, whatever you want to call it.
Thanks, Richard. The big difference between Mexico and Nica. Wait, we're supposed to be getting into this later. Okay, last question from Sienna, because it's just nice now. But anyway,
well, the climate is very different here from where we had been in Mexico. It's much more tropical.
It is. It's very tropical, very thunderstorm every day and rain. The food's very different.
Yeah, they pretty much anything that was corn in Mexico is now plantain here in Nicaragua, which is pretty delicious.
It is. Yeah, the basic standard kind of food here I call it the national dish, I guess.
It's like a typical plato típico.
It's a gallo pinto.
Gallo pinto is rice and beans kind of all together.
And that comes with, usually they do a grilled meat. So it's a grilled steak, pork, or chicken. Mm-hmm. And then along the side of that usually have fried plantains, which are
sometimes grilled
delicious.
plantains,
sometimes grilled.
And then salad. It's delicious, a ton of food, super cheap.
Plantains, very healthy. Yeah, I told Hillary I could live on these plantains. They're even though they're like fried, they're like there's not done in an olive oil, I doubt it. But however it's done, I don't know if they're baked. They're not very oily at all. They're delicious. No. Delicious. Okay, let's get to what we were going to talk about.
Yes.
When are we doing? Okay, so yeah, last Monday you would have seen our most recent episode anyway was 113, where we were basically checking out daily life in Zihuatanejo.
Yeah, hanging out. We went to the doctor, checked out the doctor in Mexico, just kind of
cheap deal.
Walked around town, some cool like festivals and street fairs and street food. There's always seems to be a ton of that going on in Mexico. And did some normal stuff, some repairs on the dinghy, all that good stuff.
Hold on to that question, Aunt said. It's a good question. Because we're using our phone right now. It's expensive, indeed.
Yes.
What else? So that's about 4 weeks ago.
That was 4 weeks ago.
Most recent video was 4 weeks ago, and then we are now in we've already talked
Nicaragua.
About Nicaragua. We're in the southern part. I already mentioned we're in the southern part of Nicaragua right now. We're about 30 to 50 miles from the border.
Yeah, we're probably even less than that from the border. We're very close to the Costa Rica border here.
And we thought we would, to set the scene here, we thought we'd try something different than being on the boat. We actually came into town. It just rained on us a little bit ago. Mm-hmm. And Varuna is probably a few hundred meters out in the bay. We're the only cruising boat here. We haven't seen any other cruising boats. There was one charter boat that transited heading north they came from the Caribbean, and they were heading up to Mexico. And there's a couple of other gringos that run charter boat operations here.
And we just met one guy. He's taken the boat out because their business pretty much died in the last 2 weeks, so they're headed down to Costa Rica.
What else? What was I saying? So that was where we are now, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
So where have we been? We'll give you... Is this the preview?
Yeah.
So we have a little preview of our passage. We had... How long was it? How many days?
14 days.
14-day passage down here from Zihuatanejo. So here's a little preview. It was an awesome passage. It's very long, but really good.
Yeah, this hasn't all been edited yet. This is just a brief, rough cut of what you'll see coming up in future episodes and so on of our little passage. And we'll kind of talk through it while it plays in the background, if I get this right.
Let's hope so.
Left Mexico.
Oh, it's cut off.
Oh, I don't know. We left Mexico.
And there was no wind at all. So you go swimming, right?
We'd stop and just go for a swim.
We spent a lot of time in the water here.
Hillary, you should get back to the boat.
Really cool stuff.
Dolphins would swim with us. That was pretty sweet.
Dolphins,
they were
all
friendly
kinds of sea creatures. We ran into the Clipper Around the World race, which was really cool.
They had a chat with us. Mm-hmm. Beautiful sunsets, never go astray.
And then we're getting into some nice squally conditions. There'd be some awesome scenes.
We were fishing.
Didn't have a whole lot of luck fishing. Cooked
not at first.
One fish. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then, when there was no wind, we had Dorado hanging out on the boat.
That's what the words down here.
That's why I said they're cut off. I don't know why.
Is it small or big? Or?
It must be cropped somehow.
A lot of turtles.
Tons of turtles.
A lot of not well turtles.
Mm-hmm. This guy was like spitting up stuff, I think, of plastic. And we found a guy tangled. This
guy we saved, we hope, although his flipper was pretty badly cut. He was tangled extremely badly, and it's really cut into his flipper. Mm-hmm. We don't really know what we're doing, but we hope we helped him.
We helped him, yeah. Seemed to swim away all right.
Look at all those Dorado. This is in the middle of the ocean. We're like, I don't know, 80 miles offshore?
Yeah.
It's crazy. It was amazing. They came right up next to us.
This is when we hit the really bad squalls and could not make any ground anywhere.
And that's when we basically decided to kind of head to Nicaragua because we could not get south under sail, and we were getting beat up every night.
Yeah. So we pulled into Nicaragua. We pulled into a little anchorage to stop and rest for the night. And it was beautiful. Yeah. And then we decided we should probably check into the country officially.
But we didn't have a flag for Nicaragua.
Didn't have a flag.
So Hillary made a flag on the fly.
And we're here.
That's where we are now. We checked in with the port captain. It was pretty easy.
Very
we're the only people here, so I mean, they didn't have much else to do. They loved it. It was good. And that's what you'll see shortly coming up.
Coming up in the next few episodes.
Yeah. Get back to our chitty chat here. Did you guys all see that? I hope so.
I hope so.
I feel like we lost everyone. Oh no, I see you, Gary.
Right.
Okay,
there we
okay.
go.
What else? So where are we now? We've kind of talked about problems with the boat. We lost an anchor.
We lost an anchor here. So we had there really big swells coming in when we first got here, and we were kind of like side onto them and floating all around. So we put a stern anchor out, and our stern anchor, I'm pretty sure most stern anchors are like this. We kind of like temporarily hook it up, like we shackle on a little bit of chain in our rode because we store the anchor by itself, which means we put the shackle on, we don't put any seizing wire on, which apparently we should be doing that. I don't know if we should. We never have before, but
it worked its way loose and the pin came out on a big shackle, and so we lost the stern anchor. Well, we know pretty much where it is, but the visibility so far, we've dove down a few times, 6 inches if we're lucky.
Once you get down,
cannot see anything.
Down on the bottom, I was holding on to our main anchor down on the bottom. My hands were on it, and I could not see it. It was this close in front of my face. It's
3
crazy.
times we've dove for it. Zip tie. Yeah, but then we got the plastic, which is, I mean, yeah, that works, but it would suck to have that much plastic waste on that. But the seizing wire is a problem too. We don't have that much seizing wire right now. We just have like some galvanized left from locally. We also, yesterday we went to the fishermen here. They're not really fishing right now because there's no petrol, so they're out of petrol. There's bloody bees on them, what the heck? Little tiny bees. There's not much fishing going on because they don't have any petrol for the motors, but we offered them, or Hillary went and chatted to them about offering them 1,000 Cordoba,
which is about
pretty good money.
$30.
$30 to see if they want to try and find our anchor. They have their anchors they use here are basically like 4 pieces of rebarb bent out to look like a grappling hook. So it's just a light little like hook thing. We thought, hey, if they chuck that in and kind of troll the bottom with it, they might be able to hook it. And we said, look, if they get it, then we'll give them 1,000, and we'll go talk to them again about it later, maybe. See if they want to do that. I dove for it again today. We will try again when there's more sun. We might be able to see a bit more if it's a nice sunny day. But once you get down to like 20 feet, there's been no visibility at all. It's impossible. Even feeling around, you just can't find your way. We're hoping we get it back.
Hopefully.
What else?
What else?
We still got a problem with our mainsail. The batten box broke. The stud pulled out of it. Hillary temporarily fixed one while we were underway.
We had one break like our second day after Zihuatanejo. Basically, the stud, it's like this bolt that screws into this plastic batten box, which is the slide, the part that attaches to the mast there, is totally ripped out. So our second day out from Zihuat, we had that break. I used some JB Weld to glue the stud back in, but once we do that, it loses the twist because it's designed to twist. And then we had another one break, so we're trying to come up with a better way to fix it until we can get another one, which probably won't be till we get down to Panama. Because right now, with that missing, we can only have a double reefed main. We can't raise the sail any higher than that. We did line that. It'll be next week. You'll see that actually it fixed it and it worked. We used the pole on the way down, and it's heavier, so it's harder to slide in and out a bit, but it worked well, and it seems to be in good shape right now. Fingers crossed. It's all good. Yeah. And to Sienna. Sailing sometimes that's so our canned goods are holding up. Awesome. We want to do some more canning. We've been using a ton of our canned meat.
Delicious.
It's delicious. We made a really good pasta with the steak last night.
And that was from like a year ago almost, that steak.
That steak.
That would have been Laredo, right?
I thought we finished. I think it might have been the newer batch. Or maybe it was.
I don't think we didn't do it. We didn't do any steak in the
That's right. No, we didn't. Yeah.
So it's like a year old. And it's delicious. It was really good. It's so flavorful. It was amazing. The regional words, I think I'd mentioned before, but we try to, and I forgot just now, we try to, when we can, tell them no straws. There's no need for them, because they're obviously one of the worst things out there, causing problems in the ocean, and they don't get recycled at all, and they break up into microplastics really bad, etc., etc., etc. So it's called a popote in Mexico. And
here it's called a pija.
Pija. Which are basically the same, but it's regionalized. That's what they call it. They would refer to it here as a pija, and in Mexico as a popote.
Yep.
So that's from what we've seen. Was there something else I was going to say we're talking about? We do not have a sonar fish finder at all, Robert. we really wanted to put one in, and then it became problematic trying to find one that would work well with our older depth sounder, and just finding information if it would work, and then finding out if we could do an in hull that would see through the thick of the hull, or it had to be another through hull, and it just became all too complicated for what would have cost us another $500 something for something we weren't 100% sure on. We really did want that because we wanted to be able to just see the bottom type, if it's rock or sand and so on.
But it was a lot of work, a lot of like ordering stuff in that we wouldn't know if it worked till it got back to the boat, and then at that point you can't return it. So yeah.
We do not have a big magnet like that, no. Try inserting tape around the shackles. It's not a bad idea.
That would work, yeah.
Yeah, it's another plastic issue, but it's not a nice idea. Yeah, we have to think about that one some more and what we're going to do.
Odoc Stanley said, what's your strategy to limit plastic? So I think our main strategy is we try and not buy it. We try, when we do our provisioning, like we try and buy things that aren't in like individual packages. Obviously some stuff you can't avoid if you want to eat it, like crackers or whatever, you know, but
limiting the plastic is really the main way to deal with it.
And we try and reuse what plastic we do use. Like we have plastic bread bags that we use, and we try and reuse those as much as we can until they fall apart. And we have some other non-plastic stuff on board too, like we use the bees wraps instead of like saran wrap instead of plastic wrap. So yeah.
The biggest problem I think anyway with plastic is plastic bottles, which we use a lot. Unfortunately, if you're walking around town or we're going out and about and we usually have a hydration pack with us that we fill too. But when you're drinking bottled water, especially in a lot of these countries where you're not necessarily sure if the town water is safe, you're drinking out of plastic bottles, and there's just so many plastic bottles everywhere. And it's really
and even if we bring our own like bottle or hydration pack in, if you want to refill it, you have to buy a bottle to refill it.
There's no town water,
but we did see a really cool thing. This will be we were just out at Ometepe Island, which is in Lake Nicaragua, and we saw a really cool project they're doing. Well, I won't say too much, but they found a cool way to reuse the plastic bottles there.
Yeah, that's neat. Yeah, the beeswax is awesome. Cool, I'm glad you like it, Laurie. Yeah, we just noticed it on another blog the other day too, that somebody else was using it.
Yeah.
Cool. Hello, Zuriana. Hello.
Wow. Hi.
Hey, did you get to meet up with Delos? I know they're all in Sweden right now. They're getting ready to leave and head out with 59 North. I would say it's
when the sun comes
high
out,
80s.
it's pretty hot. Yeah.
It's basically been in the high 80s, low 90s, and then with the humidity factor, it's up closer to 100 something.
And then a big rainstorm will blow over and really cool it down. And the second the sun comes out, it's hot and steamy.
It has been really windy today. It has been 20 to 30 knots all day long. It is blowing like crazy. It was hard as to row in here. And I'm just looking at it. It looks like it's actually died off a bit.
It does look like it's died off, yeah.
It was hard to row in here, rowing against Sachs. It was like 20 to 30 knots today.
There were the Papagayo winds, or the winds. Basically, they're coming across the low spot. So where the lake is obviously
from the
a big
Caribbean, other side
low
of the world,
spot in the country. So it comes from the Caribbean, across Nicaragua, over to here. Kind of like the Tehuantepec in Mexico. Same sort of thing.
And on top of that, hurricanes don't come to Nicaragua typically. But they do form off the coast and a little bit north of here. And there's two out there right now. There's one quite large one that got big very quickly, which I think was a letter, which was a category 4. I think it might have been downgraded. I haven't looked what it is this afternoon. And then there's another one that's forming, which is probably going to become Hurricane Bud, or Tropical Storm Bud, sorry. I haven't heard the status on that lately either, and that's a little bit closer to us. So we'd be getting a lot of the weather from that too. There's a lot of the
stuff
system
kind of
from
like
the lows
feeding into it, yeah. General future.
It has bull sharks in Lake Nicaragua, really?
Yeah, there's sharks in there.
Oh man,
it's funny on all the advertisements. They're like, "Come swim in the calm, clear waters in Lake Nicaragua," like for the hotels and everything. It's not calm, it's not crazy clear. Windy, not clear. I don't think it's ever been clear there, so it was kind of weird.
Not clear to like the water in the ocean, like.
No,
we swam out in that ocean a bunch, and it was like when we swam with you, Laurie. You might remember from that video when we headed up. The water is the bluest you've ever seen it. You get in and it's like you can see.
Probably have 100, 200 foot visibility out there.
It's incredible. It's like you can't even see yourself in it. It's that clear.
General cruising plans.
Sail landing, you would be good.
We are headed south from here, slowly. not too much of a schedule over the next couple months, other than we want to be in Ecuador and getting ready to head towards Easter Island in Chile around September-ish.
Yeah, that's not fully decided.
Not fully, yeah.
There's a chance we may stay an extra year here in Central America.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We'll see if we feel like we have enough time to do and see everything and not rush through it just to get there in time.
No Crocs, but that should be pretty shortly, coming down towards parts of Costa Rica,
Panama, yeah.
We'll see some Crocs. Don't know if I have seen the PT11. It sounds familiar, the folding knee, but someone did link us to, I don't know if I showed you this one yet. They commented and it was, I can't remember the name of it now, it was C something. C, I don't know what it was called. It was a pretty sweet little folding dinghy. A hard-sided wooden dinghy that folds up and comes apart.
Wow.
It was a beautiful one. Your dad would love it. It was a view out of the UK. I think maybe even Welsh.
Wow.
I'm not sure, but they weren't cheap. I want to say the base model was £1,500.
Dang.
And then shipping was an issue and so on around the world. But it was a beautiful looking dinghy, and it's like, I don't know, it looks kind of like ours, but it's a sailing one. You can make it with a lug rig and all.
Wow.
It's pretty cool. I'll see if I can post about it. I should put a post on our community board about it. Somebody linked it, and it was a pretty neat little thing, if you can afford it.
Yeah. Not shellbacks yet.
A nameable blue, Laurie. There you go.
It was. Right. And there were different colors of blue on our sail out. Like some days it was more turquoisey and some more deep blue.
Where are we right now?
I think we're about
15? 12? Yeah, we must be.
Yeah, we're close to 12.
12 or 13 degrees north. So we're still a decent ways.
Yeah.
What does that put us? A lot.
Yeah, 500 miles or so.
Yeah, it's quite a ways.
Yeah.
Okay, what else was I talking about?
What's also on our list?
Well, I was talking about, what were we talking about? Problems? Is there any other problems we had going on?
Problems.
We did.
Yeah, there's other problems.
There is?
Well, aren't there always?
I don't remember. What are the other problems?
You've been wanting a bigger boat.
I think we should talk about this in a later episode. I've been debating a bigger boat because we don't have a place to put anything, and it's frustrating. I really wanted to take a shower last night, and there's no room in the shower because the stuff it's filled in there. So it just takes so much work to take a shower. Sending Uma, you didn't finish it. What? Had what?
Had what?
We saying? I think you might have said something.
We had something.
No, I think she's probably referring to something we were saying. Or they are. Anyway, I'm curious what Sailing Uma had.
Yeah.
Because they're crossing over soon, I know that. Oh yeah, they do. They have a porter boat.
Yeah, the porter boat.
There's a few boats that have porter boats. Those aren't cheap either, and I do know they break over time. It's a plastic. I don't know. I think it's plastic, like a corrugated. It's a hard, heavy duty stuff.
Yeah.
It's just not in our price range, I think.
No. Nor is a cat. The Fritz. We would love I don't know if we would love a cat.
But a catamaran?
That's. I mean, one thing talking about a bigger boat, but I don't know if we would.
I don't know if we would love a catamaran.
No.
I don't think so. I don't think I'd feel as safe in a catamaran.
No.
A catamaran would be nice, but I don't think I'd feel as safe in it.
Comfortable, but yeah, for really
true
blue water stuff.
To me, just sails better. I think it travels better. Anyway, yeah, maybe we'll talk about that in how we can get a bigger boat is what we've kind of been thinking about. How do we do that? We live full time on the boat. We don't have anyway. So how do we sell a boat and buy a boat? Because we can't afford to buy a new boat and then sell it. We can't afford to have two boats at the same time. So we kind of we've been thinking about what if we put it up for sale?
We could deliver it wherever.
Offered to sail it to wherever as a delivery, and then we just basically hang out there or fly somewhere new to wherever we're going to buy a new boat from.
Yeah.
Because now we've got a better idea of what we'd like in another boat.
But that's not so easy either, because we have all of our tools. The dive compressor. How the heck are you going to get that across the world? Yeah. We'd have to buy a boat wherever we sold it.
That's not bad though. I mean, 4 years is pretty good, but I guess I don't remember what the cost is. I guess for the cost, it's I don't know. I guess if you've got the money to replace it after 4 years, then it's worth it. But it sucks to replace stuff like that. It's probably better than an inflatable for you, though, right? An inflatable would be lucky to get 4 years without you having to patch it, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like you have to patch inflatables all the time.
The food's great, though, yeah.
Delicious. Love it.
And I was just saying about bigger boats. We know what we'd like.
Yeah.
Be able to get to the engine easier, did that oil change.
Have some better storage options, bulkier storage options,
maybe
be able to store tools and
maybe a catch. The problem with the
better.
catch is where do we put solar panels? That's what we don't like about that. We'd like a lot of solar.
Yeah.
But I don't know, just a bit more space. I think the main things would be that I can think of off the top of my head better access to the engine. And what was I thinking?
We'd love another berth.
Boat. Maybe, yeah, I was going to say cabin, like another cabin, like an actual separate cabin. Laurie would know, like, it's just our salon settees, which are berths. But a separate cabin would be kind of nice, like even if it was just a quarter berth, I guess. Although on most boats, they tend to become storage, which is where most boats on there, our shower has become storage as well.
Yeah.
So not having stuff, it's like getting a bigger garage. You just fill everything up, like a bigger house.
Yeah, if we had a quarter berth, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
We do need to do the boat tour still.
We do need to, Ariel, thank you for reminding us.
It's been on the list for a really long time.
We keep waiting for like the calm anchorage to be able to do it, and there's no calm place. And then we get to a calm place, I think we're so exhausted we just want to like lay down and relax, and then we forget to do it.
We really wanted to do it up in the mangroves in Mag Bay, and we for some reason never got around to it. We had a lot.
We have so much video right now that we're it's just tough trying to find time to do all of it and how to put it all out and best manage it.
Yeah.
And then that goes back to the that Ant and Sid, I don't know if they're still here, were asking about the data usage. I didn't read their question fully, but I think it was about how do you manage the data and so on. It's expensive for uploading, and there's no way that we've really found to manage it. It's most of the time, like right now, this is over our phone data, because when we do find local Wi-Fi or internet, it's not very good, and it's not good enough to upload or do anything like that on.
And this, like right now, the internet, we came up to this place, this hotel, it has like some of the best internet we found, but we still couldn't really do the live stream on it. It seemed like. It
seemed like it was giving us a weird stream health, and I'm guessing you guys can see us and hear us all right at the moment.
Yeah, this will listen over the cell phone data.
No one's complained. Yeah.
Yep.
And they can send you.
We are 36 feet, Dan.
Okay.
Oh, the Mac. Your dad said that's the other thing that's broke right now. That's making it harder to do video and stuff. We, for what, the second, third time? Too many times.
We kind of always did. The reason we got the Apples mainly was because they're good for video editing, and it's well known, like the Final Cut Pro and all, which is what we use.
But our computer died the other week, and
just unhappy with the devices. It should last long. I mean, that was only a 1-year-old device, maybe 1.5 years. I don't remember.
Out of nowhere.
Just died.
You opened it up and looked at it. There's nothing obvious, like corrosion inside or anything.
Thanks, Sovine. Good. Thank you, Ariel. Yeah, we're pretty sure I know what's wrong with it. It seems to be the same thing. Every time we've had something go wrong with our Mac, they say it's the logic board, which I guess is like a motherboard. But there's no fixing that down here. Hello, Marty. There's maybe getting it fixed in Panama.
Maybe.
But it's going to be expensive either way, so we're probably going to go to a Windows computer now. I'm just unhappy with Mac. I'm sick of giving them money. It's a lot of money for something that should last a lot longer. And didn't.
It would be.
Yeah, that's right, Apple. I don't know that. Yeah, I mean, part of me just wants nothing to do with Apple though, because I just feel like their device should be much better.
Well, and the problem with it, like we were saying, like once you get out of the U.S., there's nowhere to get it serviced. I love their closest Apple stores. There's in Latin America, they have 2 Apple stores. There's one in Mexico City and one in Brazil. We're not going to be sailing to any of those places anytime soon to get it fixed.
Not anytime soon.
No.
Is there other stuff that we're talking about? That projects, broken things?
Little stuff, nothing big.
What else? Little? Anything little that we're working on? Not really. No. So back to okay. Yeah, we're looking for like, I think 42, 43 would be something good, something like that. Diana 37, nice, Dan. Yeah, you know, I was thinking about that, Dan, today as I was in the water after trying to look for the anchor. I thought, well, I've still got the tank on. I'll clean the bottom of the boat a bit, and that's all I was thinking about while I was under there. I was just like
a bigger boat,
because I was trying to. It was so rough in there, I couldn't hold on to clean it, and I was thinking, like, man, imagine a bigger boat, it'll be more to clean.
Yeah.
Like I'd be under here so much longer scrubbing. We did, Ariel. Yes.
Yeah.
We even spearfished and caught one, which was pretty sweet.
Spearfishing 100 miles offshore. Is pretty cool.
Fish just swimming around the boat, so we just jumped in and grabbed a fish. 11 feet's good. Hey, everyone needs to start with something.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, but what we did think of, Dan, is that we never wanted a big boat we wanted to limit the boat size for the expense and for being able to handle it ourselves. I think now that we've got a bit more experience, we'd be comfortable handling a bigger boat.
For sure.
I think the cost-wise, we'd also be fine with, because we never had planned, but we didn't know how it would go. We didn't plan on staying in marinas, and we've been able to really easily avoid that quite easily. And if you don't go to a marina, that's where your massive cost comes in, right?
Yeah.
Like when you're a bigger boat, marina costs
crazy.
Are much more different.
I mean, there still is more cost in terms of maintenance. You know, you have
Yes,
more lines, more rigging, more sail, more paint, more of all that sort of stuff. But I feel like, I mean, you're going to have those maintenance costs anyways. I feel like that's kind of a marginal thing.
It's not a daily expense. If you're going into a marina on a daily basis,
that's a huge
there's a massive difference between a
difference.
36 foot and a 44 foot.
Yeah.
In price difference, and it's a daily cost.
Thanks, Andrew.
Thank you, Andrew. Appreciate it.
Yes.
Hey, Rick.
Fred says, time to sail that 42 foot from Long Beach. Ty keeps talking about it.
I do.
If you want to go in half.
It would be perfect. I know. I was like, wow, that'd be great. That was a nice boat. We looked at that one.
It was a 42 foot Pearson.
That's right. A Pearson 424. It was really nice.
It did.
We like that boat. It was a catch too, right?
It was a catch.
It was a catch. Yeah. It was a nice one. And so the other thing we should talk about in terms of, I guess we could put it under the problems and stuff. We should go into more about the Nicaragua thing.
Oh yeah.
And that'd be a good place to put it. So those who don't know right now, there's a lot of issues going on in Nicaragua, and there's a big political unrest, I guess you could call it.
Uprising against the current president?
Against the current president, who really until recently has had pretty good popularity, and crime was low, the economy was doing pretty well and so on. But at the same time, I think people were slowly getting more and more fed up with his
It was kind of like
family
those
rule
typical,
dictatorship.
More like, I don't know how to say it. I forgot what I was going to say.
Corrupt.
Corrupt, yeah,
Yes,
that's what
right?
it's, corrupt, like,
So Daniel Ortega, a little bit of backstory from what I know, and this might not be 100% right, but there was basically a dictatorship, I forget the name, from, I want to say the 30s through probably the 80s, right? This family that ruled this country like crazy with an iron fist. And then during the 1980s, I think it was in the 1980s.
Yeah, it was the whole
there was
like
the Sandinista party or movement or whatever that was an uprising against it for liberation. And they actually did a lot of training, you heard, in Costa Rica too, right?
I was just reading in that cruising guide there was some training down in Costa Rica.
So they ended up overthrowing the dictator and putting in this new thing, and then that was when Daniel Ortega first became the president down there. And then after...
He went out of office and then
in
recently
like the mid-90s,
came back.
Well, 10 years ago, recently.
Oh, yeah.
So he's been in power for 10 years, and he changed the rules. He got rid of term limits. He decided to start... he looked for a running mate. And he thought, wait, I'll make my wife, because what's better to have in power than a husband and wife team running the country. And then he put his sons in power and all that stuff too. So there's a lot of rich money in the family and so on there. And then the whole big deal blew up in April 18th, I believe, is when he made a bunch of changes on the Social Security, like increased the taxes and decreased the payments. And then on the 19th is when they had the protest started. The students decided to protest about this, and then a bunch of people got killed. And basically he obviously denies that it's his doing, but pretty much the word is that it's people that not work for him, I don't know, people that support him and that he kind of knows of. They're calling them government hit squads. So basically there's this kind of clandestine movement that's out there with snipers
going after
people.
These protesters.
And I know they killed one of the reporters, like live stream, and I think over 150 people have died so far in a matter of about 6 weeks or something, 7 weeks. So, and it's been spreading.
So basically the people kind of, been continuing protesting. They have the roadblocks set up all across the country, which any of the major cities are basically shut down. There's no goods going in and out. There's no fuel most places. So
you can't get across the roads. There's no travel between towns, the big towns. The tourists are leaving because of the instability and the possibility for it turning into something worse, which has really affected everywhere. Ometepe, when we were there, it's been affected. There's just no tourism there, so everyone's suffering. This is a massive tourist town. It's a very big expat town.
And we heard this is kind of the last place that there are tourists, because we're so close to the Costa Rican border. It's like
easier to
30-40 minutes from the Costa Rican border, but there's no people. I mean, we were from last week to this week. I feel like there's probably a third of the people.
Thank you, Marty.
Oh, thank you.
It's not good, but I guess the possibilities, and I haven't heard where it is today, because I think today's the 2-day limit. But a couple of days ago, he met with the church again. The Catholic Church is involved heavily down here, and the people really respect the church. And originally, what happened was this has been going on for a while, and the church was still supporting Ortega up until Mother's Day. And then Mother's Day, there was a protest with the mothers of protesters that had been killed in the previous protests, and there was more sniper attacks, and they murdered more people during this Mother's Day march, which generally had all been peaceful protests, and they killed a bunch more people. So then the church stopped supporting the president. So as of a couple of days ago, the bishops and so on met back with Ortega and presented a list of demands, and he wanted 2 days to think about it and see. From what we've heard is the people will pretty much only accept one thing, and that is for him to leave office. Which does not mean, and right now that means even if he does leave, he will probably put his wife in power, and people don't want that either. So we'll see where it goes. Hopefully it'll end relatively peaceful.
Yeah.
How's the canning stuff holding up?
Awesome. We want to do more.
Nicaragua. Nicaragua will be as good.
I mean, it's any kind of like hot. I feel like third world place has like the standard cheap beer. It's a light beer. It's good. Similar to like a Pacifico, Tecate, something like that. But yeah, canned stuff's holding up awesome. We want to do more.
Did you see what Philip said?
Yes, you're right. It would have. I do like straws, but I'm trying not to use them.
Yeah, the meat's great. Last night we had a steak and it was delicious. Hillary made a salad from it. Was it salad we had? No, pasta. Sorry.
Pasta last night. We made a salad today.
What is for dinner tonight?
I don't know. We might have some nice, cheap local food since we're already in town.
We might, because we're already in town. We might go and have that local food we were talking about, which is like
it's the grilled
rice
meat,
and beans,
plantains, rice and beans.
It's delicious.
Delicious.
For about $2.50-ish.
Yeah.
About 80
no, a bit more. Here on Ometepe it was about $3. Here it's about $4.
No, it's 80 each.
Yeah, it's about $3.
That's not.
$2.50.
Yeah, that's what I said. $2.50.
Yeah, here it's a bit more. It's 120.
It was 80 here though.
No, it's 120 here.
Oh, I thought it was 80 that we ate up at that other one around the corner.
120.
No, I thought it was 80 at the other one. Not the first one, the one around across from it. That was 80.
It was 120.
I don't know. I don't keep track of that. Come on.
We do maintain a diet vlog.
No worries, Bob. Hi, how are you?
Yeah, we have our dive vlog. We've done, I forget how many dives now, 30 some dives?
Yes, it is. Rick, actually, it should all be healed up there. You probably can't even see anything now.
Yeah, it's all healed. There's a little scar.
Turned out, I think this. I had an old scar there from my accident years ago, and that was. He said it had gotten infected, and there was two options: either they could cut that area out, that kind of mole area out, or they could.
Yeah, it wasn't a mole or anything. It wasn't any sort of like skin cancer.
Yeah, it wasn't.
It was some kind of lesion.
Yeah, I don't know. It wasn't.
Yeah.
It was all good.
Yeah.
But I mean, that was how much was that? $20?
About $20.
Yeah, it was. No appointment. Like literally walked in there. He's like, sure, come in, sit down. And had the nurse assistant came in. They're all cleaned up and sanitized, and it was great.
No, it's a bit more. It's $50.
You sure?
It's 1,000 pesos.
Okay, it was a good price either way. G'day, Chip.
What else?
Yeah, melanomas. That's still a big killer in Australia too. So we got checked recently. We went to the doctors when we were up in the States for Thanksgiving, and we both went to see a dermatologist there and got full body checks on that stuff and got the okay there. So we were pretty good on that.
Yeah. Do we have anything else on our list?
I don't think so. Does anyone have any questions?
Any questions? Yeah. The questions that we missed.
Thanks for all joining in, guys.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Where are you today, Rick and Pam? Are you guys home? Are you out on the boat somewhere? And Laurie, are you guys on the boat too? I don't know if Laurie and Bob are
Barb's there. Hi, Barb.
Yeah. Oh, you missed that.
I missed that, yeah. San Diego
We're too far from there. I wish there's a lot of stuff we could get. There may be a flight to somewhere
to get a computer.
And then with that would be other things as well. It becomes difficult now. I mean, we're a long way away from places now.
Rose Parade was today.
Oh, was that today?
Yeah, that's what Barb said.
Yeah, I remember seeing
the Rose Festival. It rained here too. It poured down for about 5 minutes.
Now it is hot and muggy
really
again.
Hot.
It's
yeah.
cleared up, and the wind died. It was nice, really.
Yeah.
It's been stormy, pretty much all the way stormy here. There was big storms out on Ometepe. A young boy got killed. We read yesterday. Just after we left,
struck by lightning. Bummer.
We rode around on a scooter and got really wet.
Cool.
Met some local people that have just started a business and are really struggling because of the stuff going on, no tourism. In the States. Actually, I think we both had health insurance at the time.
We did, yeah. We had insurance.
We had health insurance that covered that at the time in the States. but it would cost like out of pocket.
I'm sure it'd be
hundreds
several
of dollars,
$100s, yeah. And to get that
just
removed,
for
the check.
but the lab work would have cost a fortune too.
Oh,
I think,
yeah,
right? And
sure.
getting it removed exactly. And this was like for everything. So.
Yeah. How long have we been together? Neptune us? How long have we been together?
Us?
Yeah.
Actually, we're coming up on our anniversary here.
What year is it?
I don't know what year it is.
6 years. Almost 6 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. We should like celebrate that or something. We've never really celebrated that.
No.
Yeah, that must be coming up pretty soon. It's probably like July.
Yeah.
That's next month.
Next month.
Well, thanks for reminding us there, Neptune.
Yeah. We still need to do our little video about our little.
You do,
that's
about
been
how we
it's like
make. So I know a lot of people
halfway
have asked
on the
us that.
list.
A lot of people have asked how we
Along with
met
our boat
and
tour.
all that sort of jazz. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the boat tour and that. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is pineapple juice, so, by the way, guys. Just
Pineapple juice.
plain pineapple juice.
Delicious.
We try to get a limonada, but they're out of limes, I think.
Yeah.
So pineapple, they have pineapple. It's delicious. Water maker is A-OK. It is great. We made water today. What else? It's not the best water here to make water with, so it's not. Ideally, don't want to run it. I don't want to run it here because it just clogs it up a lot quicker. Just a lot of sediment in the water.
Yeah.
But we also want to stay on top of it, so we're not out and having to fill up.
Yeah.
And that's what I don't know if we mentioned. We had a problem. We used the most diesel we've ever used on our trip down here.
Good night, Aunt and Sid.
Oh,
Have
see
a
you
good
guys
night.
later. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. Have a good one. Enjoy your sail.
Yeah.
Enjoy that. Where is it? Where's Raz the Scene? Is that
Scene.
French? Sounds French.
It does.
But yeah, so we've got, how much diesel do we have left in the tank?
Not
We think about
much.
10 gallons,
Less
15
than that.
gallons or less.
I thought it was 7 gallons we measured.
No, we got more than that,
Oh, okay.
I think.
Maybe it was 12?
Oh, well, no, we didn't do the math. We did the math when I measured it, I think we had 15.
Okay.
But then we used a bit more. And we've got 10 gallons on board still.
Yes.
That we haven't filled up. The water maker leak has been plugged, so we put a plug in it instead of the pressure relief valve, and the leak is good, so there's no leak there. But we need to figure out the pressure relief valve. We have not been able to figure that out.
Awesome
Should we
rain.
get another beer?
Yeah.
Should we get another beer?
Yeah.
Disculpe. Just dos cerveza.
Dos Toñas.
Toñas. Gracias.
We can do awesome rain catchment, which we need to do. We really need to scrub down the decks. We have some bird poop on the deck.
We did fill one night. We filled the starboard tank, and then we were going to fill the port tank.
But there was bird poop it was stuck underneath the jerry cans
Under the jerry
deck.
cans.
We need to take those out and scrub it, and then we'll be able to fill up the tanks in no time.
Oh yeah, and this rain, and that was one of the reasons why we never wanted to get a water maker. We didn't think we would need it once we got to a place like this, where
which we wouldn't.
the tank would be filled every day in a heartbeat if we wanted it to be. That goes way back to why we got the water maker in general too. We got it for a price that suited us, that allowed us to be a little more frivolous with the water usage while still being conscious of it.
Spanish? I
It's
studied
pretty much the
Spanish
same in Australia, Robert.
in high school. I took 3 years of Spanish in high school, and then a couple years of Spanish in college. I did a study abroad in Central America. I didn't use a ton of Spanish on that, but it was mostly the school. I had an awesome Spanish teacher in high school. Even after the study abroad in my college, I think I attribute most of my Spanish to this awesome teacher I had in high school.
What's a Berkey?
A Berkey?
Rick, are you talking like a rain catchment thing? Thanks, Ariel. That's a nice idea. Yeah, 2-year warranty, really.
Dang.
What? That's just a standard thing for the EU or something. They're like mandatory.
Yeah, that would be. We would have used that a few times.
Yeah. Gracias.
Hello.
Water filter in a can, huh? But is it but not a desalinator, right? It'd just be a
Like a filter.
like a filter that you put in. That's pretty cool, Ariel. Brittany, tied and critical overflows. All right, night, Aunt and Sid.
Good
Good
night.
luck
Have
with
a
the
good sail.
Good luck.
Should we say goodbye to everyone, or you want to keep going? Does there anyone
I
else
don't
have any
mind.
questions? We're here.
We're here.
We're here to answer your questions.
We're really here. There's not many peeps, so we can wrap it up and filter rainwater. I see what you're saying. Yeah. Okay. I'll have to check that out at Berkey. Okay. I'll check it out. It becomes one of those things that we have to decide what's most critical, because everything now is going to pretty much comes by plane, and it comes from the States, because we can't, or it's very difficult to order items here. Right now, one of our patrons, Brian, is actually helping us out with trying to figure out a way to get some batten boxes for our main sail, because 2 of them have broken now, and we feel like they're all going to break soon, so we want to replace them. And we need to get them from a North Sails, which there's none of around here either. I think there's one in Panama, no?
We couldn't find one. I wouldn't be surprised if there is someone operating as a quote-unquote North Sails, but not an official one in Panama. So, yeah.
Fernando, not the South Pacific. We're heading, if anything, towards southern Chile area. So, Galapagos, Easter Island, and southern Chile would be the plan.
Anchor, we talked about the Anchor earlier. If you missed it, you can watch it on the replay. Yeah,
we'll repost this afterwards. Food from where? From Mexico, or the food we missed from home? I was just craving meat pies yesterday.
You were.
After the rain, I was like, we were in Ometepe watching the school kids all in their uniforms walking home in the pouring down rain, soaked. I just remember riding the bike home as a kid or something like that and being all wet, and then getting changed and dried off in the house, and then I could either eat a couple of big bowls of cereal or I'd eat like 2, 3, 4 frozen meat pies mashed up while watching like cartoons. It would have been great. Anyway, I miss meat pies.
Anyways,
the charts work great. It's just another tool to add to it. We've got more to do for where we're heading. So that actually works great. We've also got the Google Earth charting that we use, and we just recently worked out how to do some more weather charting, the surface analysis and the upper level charts, like the actual ISO charts, over email.
See you later, Ziriana.
I missed the whole part. Somehow Laura's talking about gin there. I don't know what's going on.
I think someone said, why is there not alcohol in our glass?
Did you see Barb chatting there as well?
Barb, what she said?
Features of the boat.
Boat?
What are the best and worst features of the boat?
That's a tough one. Not a tough one, but we love our boat. We love the big cockpit. It sails great. We love the sail plans.
Bruce is here.
Oh, Bruce. Hey, Bruce.
Where's our tools? What the heck? I'll tell you what, I could use your tools right now.
We could, and probably some of your advice, too.
Yes. Did you talk about you should talk about the best and worst of the boat before the
No, I was just saying, we love...
Ziriana, thanks for joining in, and appreciate you being here so late. Thank you.
We still love the big cockpit on our boat. I mean, that was the big reason why we got the boat, and still like that.
And that bigger Pearson has the same cockpit.
It does,
the 424 has a similar...
and we like that it's a cutter rig. That's awesome. I think the biggest downside is probably the size and that there's no quarter berth. That would be my biggest downfall.
They look good. They don't look like dog food. It's all bloody food. It's delicious. Whatever. My dad's just talking about the meat pies.
Oh.
Thanks, Fernando.
Someone just bought a boat called Fair Dinkum.
Oh, really? Where did he buy the boat?
I don't know. I feel like it'd have
44-foot catch, eh? That is a good name. Any sailing certifications? I mean, ASA Sailing, American Sailing Association. I don't think it's really that
means much.
No, I think it's very different than sailing certifications you get in the UK.
Very different. I mean, ASA was a great
intro
stuff for us, since we literally had no idea about anything sailing, didn't know anything.
But sailing certifications,
I don't think it means you're qualified to do anything.
I think it costs a hell of a lot of money to get us these ASA or whatever sailing certifications. That teaches you some stuff, definitely, but you learn hands-on. You need to get on as many boats, you need to get on friends' boats, get on your boat, you need to go out in every condition you can. And that's the only way, I think, to prepare for it and get the feeling. And we're still constantly learning stuff and teaching stuff to ourselves, and that's what we try and ask as many people about how they do things differently, because everyone has their own way of doing stuff. There's this guy Bruce, and he talks like he knows how to sail and all that stuff, but really he's just an old bloke that he knows some stuff. He does know stuff.
Yeah.
He knows how to have a beer.
He does. That much. Cheers.
Cheers, Bruce. Hope you got one right now. Neptune, there's no end in mind, so plan to continue going.
Yeah.
Chilly in Adelaide. Oh, it's warm here. There's Mr. Duckworth.
Hey.
I agree. Actually, that's a good idea too. Is different types of boats is better. Yeah, because lots of boats are different, right? Very different.
For sure.
Yeah. I think you might be right. It does seem to me like the certifications matter more in Europe and the UK, and I think they're probably actually more intense certifications. I don't believe the ASA is.
We've heard from people that have done like it's called the RYA.
I think it's the yacht, whatever it's called.
It's much more intense, of course, than the ASA.
I know they made it to Hawaii. They've left Hawaii now.
Have they left already?
I believe it.
I don't think they've left yet. I think they're getting ready to leave.
Yeah, I think they ran into our friends. Did you see that episode?
If you didn't see it, they talked to our friend Sedna on the radio.
Right after they left us on the Socorro Islands, they were, I don't know, halfway through or whatever, and they actually crossed paths with them in the middle of the South Pacific.
Within a couple of miles, in the middle of the night, in the middle of the ocean. Yeah. Crazy.
And then I know they're about to head up to Alaska area. I don't know if they've left yet. They just got a heater in? Did they install a heater, or what did they do?
I have no idea.
I don't remember what they did. Or maybe that was follow the boat. Laurie and Bob are quoting Captain Ron there.
How many nautical miles? We actually haven't added that up. I've been wondering.
I did, Ariel. Yeah. Ariel's just talking about it. Yeah. Somebody, maybe that was you, Ariel. Someone messaged us actually and said that, so we checked them out. And we're like, oh, sweet. That was pretty cool. That's pretty cool. How many miles?
I don't know. We need to look on our thing. Because I thought that would be cool to know how many. We haven't. We
did about, so the sail we just did was about just over 1,300 miles.
Yeah.
That was, 2,000 Ks?
About that,
Something like that. That was 14 days, and that was from Siwatneho to here. About 1,300 miles, mostly sailing with way too much motoring. Mostly drifting. So we had no wind and then terrible storms.
We'd alternate our drifting with our motoring with the storms.
Oh. Dad said there.
Thanks, Dad.
Second time they ran into someone from Los Angeles. Yeah, that was pretty cool. We're hoping to meet up with Nike from White Spot Pirates. I don't know if you guys follow her, but we've been chatting with her. I know she's still down in Panama there, so we'd love to catch up with her. All right, nice talking to you, Rick. We're going to actually say goodbye too. I think we've been chatting for a while, so unless anyone has anything really important they need to ask us before we go, we're going to get out of here.
Adios.
Neptune, we were both doing aviation related, like airlines, commercial aviation, airports, a little bit on planes, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I grew up with metric, so I get confused now between the two because I don't know which one's which, and I can't tell what measurement. But we actually
just recently switched our depth sounder to meters.
You forgot what the bloody thing was called, the measurement? Yeah. So we're trying to switch everything to the boat to metric because pretty much everywhere else in the world is in metric, and metric will be a lot easier way to work things out. All right, guys, thanks for all the adioses. Cheers, and we will talk to you all later. I appreciate you all joining. Thanks very much.
Yeah.
Marty,
we should put the link for the GoFundMe.
Oh, the GoFundMe. If you guys hang on for a sec, I'll chuck it in here. And I want to say thanks to Marty for chucking in that money there too.
Yeah.
Because that'll buy us a dinner tonight.
For sure, yeah.
All right, so guys, if you do like the GoFundMes or do anything like that, at least have a read of this. I know Hillary had posted it on the Facebook and so on. But check out that link that I just posted and feel free to chip in $1, whatever, and help get them to their goal to donate some stuff to the kids of the schools of Kiribati. It'll really help them out.
Yeah, they'll do a good job with it.
Everyone, cheers.
Adios.
Take care. We'll see you later. Until next time, right?